BattleBit. I love BattleBit, alright? It's like crack, you know? And there's a lot of guns in BattleBit, and I got all of them. So what is the best gun in BattleBit? So in my opinion, there are two contenders for this spot. It's the Chris Vector and the P90. But I do think that one is better than the other. I mean, the P90 can make people say this.
Alright. Did he just... How? What? Huh?
And the Vector can make people say this. So what really is the better gun in BattleBit? The P90 or the Vector? Well, let's first go into what they actually do, the actual statistics. So the very first thing you will notice is that the Vector is unlocked at rank 70, meanwhile the P90 is unlocked at rank 125. So there's a big difference in like availability right now on how many people are using the Vector compared to the P90. But let's start with something like Recoil. They're very similar in terms of recoil, though I do feel like the Vector has lower recoil. I mean, it does have lower recoil looking at the stats, but there's other things interfering with recoil too, such as RPM, you know. But the Vector overall is easier to control in my opinion. It's much smoother overall. The P90 has 28 damage, meanwhile the Vector has 24 damage, and also the P90 has a 1.5 times headshot multiplier, meanwhile the Vector only has a 1.2 times. So that means you do around 42 damage per headshot with the P90, while you only do 28 damage per headshot with the Vector. The P90 can also kill up to 10 people in a magazine, while the Vector can kill 7 people in a magazine. But the Vector does reload faster than the P90, at around half a second faster, but it has 10 less bullets. And at last but not least, the Vector has an RPM of 1200, meanwhile the P90 has an RPM of 800, which obviously means the Vector is going to kill faster than the P90. So now with the important stat differences out of the way, which gun do I think is better? Take this with a very big grain of salt, because these two guns are very equal, but I do think one is better than the other. And that is the P90. Yes, the P90. The reason why I think the P90 is better than the Vector is simply because it acts more like an AR. I think it feels better. You know, you can get more kills per magazine. It does more damage. It does 42 damage per headshot, and has 50 bullets by default. You're just gonna be able to do more with the P90 compared to the Vector. Like, sure, in duels, the Vector will win against the P90 like 9 out of 10 times, because it just kills that much faster. But a lot of the times with the Vector, you kind of just dump your mag and getting like 2 kills. That doesn't really happen with the P90. You're almost bound to get like 4 or 5 kills per mag with the P90 if you're good enough. And that's why I think the P90 is just better than the Vector. It's just an overall better gun. Like, sure, the Vector has the upper edge when it comes to TTK, but the P90 does everything else just better, I'd say. So okay, well, maybe not everything else, but pretty much everything else. But yeah, that's why I think the P90 is better than the Vector. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. If you guys enjoyed the video, press the like button, buy my merch even if I don't have any, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya, love you, mwah.